Libra, the day of your birth reveals your spiritual mission. You've always heard that your sign is Libra, the ultimate symbol of indecision, the eternal diplomat who smiles at everyone while swallowing their own desires to avoid conflict. They said you live in search of beauty, perfect romance, environments where everything flows smoothly. But what if I told you that everything you believed about yourself, everything you were taught to repeat, is just the surface, just the perfectly designed mask that you, almost without realizing it, put on your face to bear the weight of the world? There's an invisible mechanism operating within you, a disturbing yet magnificent emotional truth that magazine astrology never dared to tell you. The reality is that the day of your birth reveals your spiritual mission here on Earth in a surgical and precise way. You didn't come just to decorate the world, you came to restructure the emotional foundations of those who cross your path. And depending on the exact moment you first breathed on this planet, the weight of that mission changes drastically. Let's now delve into the gears of your sign. Let's list all the dates for Libra and reveal what really lies behind that diplomatic smile. If you were born on September 23rd, you are the portal. Your birth date marks the official entry of Libra energy, the exact equinox, where light and darkness have exactly the same weight. Your spiritual mission here on Earth is not passive peace, but active pacification. You are the person who enters a chaotic room full of wounded people, and without saying a single word, reorganizes the environment. But the cost of this is extremely high. You absorb the darkness of others to return only light to them. Do you feel that exhaustion at the end of the day? That inexplicable weight on your shoulders that isn't yours? For those born on September 24th, the spiritual mission takes on a layer of silent sacrifice. You were sent to be the bridge over turbulent waters in family and romantic relationships. The day of your birth made you an emotional sponge. Your greatest challenge here on Earth is learning that by placing yourself in the crossfire to save two people who hate each other, the only person who always ends up with third-degree burns is you. The universe gave you the gift of understanding both sides of any story, but you often forget to tell your own version. Those born on September 25th carry one of the most mysterious vibrations of Libra. You are the diplomat who hides a ruthless judge inside. Your spiritual mission here on Earth is to reveal the truth, but your protective mechanism makes you wrap that truth in gift paper. You hate hurting other people's feelings, so you give in, agree on the outside, while inside your mind screams in total disagreement. The day of your birth compels you to confront the ancestral fear of not being loved if you finally decide to be authentic and direct. If your birth date is September 26th, your spiritual mission is to be the architect of comfortable illusions. You have the frightening power to make anyone feel like the most important thing in the universe. You create bubbles of aesthetic and emotional perfection for those who are broken. But your invisible paradox is the loneliness this generates. When you are the structure that holds up everyone's roof, who holds up your roof when your structure falters? Those born on September 27th are the exhausted peacemakers. You try to control the uncontrollable through harmony. The day of your birth endowed you with an ultra-sensitive radar for facial micro-expressions. You know when someone is sad, angry, or frustrated even before they realize it. Your spiritual mission here on Earth is to heal fractured environments, but the price you pay is living on eggshells, calculating every syllable, every movement, terrified of the possibility of causing discomfort to others. Do you realize the weight of that? That feeling that the happiness of others is your responsibility, etched into your chest like a contract you don't remember signing. It was in seeking answers to these reflections that the digital book, The Divine Wisdom that guides your zodiac sign to a purposeful life, was born. More than just a simple read, it brings together teachings, interpretations, and exercises to help you understand patterns, develop a more conscious attitude, and cultivate a stronger mindset in the face of difficulties. Many people have already begun this journey of self-discovery and have found a new way to look at their challenges. Now it's your turn. Access to the digital book is available in the first pinned comment. Don't miss the opportunity to discover a perspective that can transform how you face spiritual envy, strengthen your energy, and continue your journey with more clarity. Click now and discover how the divine wisdom that guides your zodiac sign to a purposeful life can become a guide to a more conscious, balanced, and resilient life. Right now, as you listen to these words, you might be feeling a tightness in your chest, realizing how many times you've silenced your own voice so as not to disrupt the chorus of others. You feel the discomfort vibrating inside, the accumulated exhaustion of years being the pillar for someone who never offered you support. It is precisely because you recognize this silenced pain that you need to act for yourself now, not tomorrow. The link is in the first pinned comment. But be aware, this content may be taken down. Click now, download your copy. Tell me in the comments, when was the last time you swallowed a word to keep the peace of someone who didn't deserve your silence? For those born on September 28th, the journey continues with a cutting intensity. You are the crystal mirror of humanity. Your spiritual mission here on earth is to reflect back to people what they have best, but the great trauma of the day of your birth is that people also project their worst demons onto you. You attract partners and friends who desperately need fixing, and you, with your perfectly calibrated moral compass, try to fix them by loving them. You give away your vital energy in homeopathic drops until you feel completely empty, wondering where your own essence has gone. Those born on September 29th are their own most merciless judges. If this is your birth date, your spiritual mission is to bring justice to the wronged, to defend those who have no voice. You do this brilliantly, but you are incapable of applying the same compassion to yourself. Your internal standard of self-criticism is cruel. You freeze in the face of decisions, not because you don't know what you want, but because you can clearly see all the devastating consequences that each choice will cause. Your indecision is not stupidity, it is an excess of intelligence. It is the weight of anticipating all scenarios. We've reached September 30th. If you were born on that day, you are an aesthete of souls. Your spiritual mission here on earth is to anchor divine beauty in gross matter. You cannot tolerate moral ugliness, rudeness, or lack of tact. When the environment around you is aesthetically or emotionally degrading, your physical body becomes ill. The day of your birth made you a filter. The problem is that, in filtering the impurities of the world, the emotional dirt of others remains trapped within you, transforming into silent anxiety and insomnia. And then, the calendar turns, entering October, where the Libra scales begin to tip differently. If you were born on October 1st, your spiritual mission is the architecture of new realities through charm. You use your personal magnetism not out of vanity, but as a survival weapon, like a master key that opens rusty doors. You disarm opponents with a smile. However, your invisible struggle is the fear of being loved only for the pleasant persona you've created, and never for the wonderful chaos you hide behind closed doors. For those born on October 2nd, life is a constant negotiation of emotional hostages. The day of your birth has made you the human shield for those you love. Your spiritual mission here on earth is to teach tolerance, but you often get confused and end up tolerating the intolerable. You stretch your limits until they break, repeatedly forgiving offenses that should have already marked the end of a cycle. You are so afraid of becoming the villain in someone's story that you prefer to be the recurring victim in your own. If you were born on October 3rd, you are the translator of silences. Your spiritual mission here on earth is to verbalize what others feel. but cannot say. The day of your birth granted you an extraordinary empathic mediumship. The danger? You adapt so much to the frequency of other people that you suffer from a chronic loss of identity. Who are you when no one is by your side demanding that you be the perfect balance? That is the question that haunts you in the early hours of the morning. Those born on October 4th are the wounded healers. Their spiritual mission is to build solid structural bonds in a fluid world. You yearn for long-term partnerships, lasting marriages, unwavering friendships. The day of your birth placed on your chest the responsibility of being the glue that holds families together. But there is a secret anger growing inside, a dense frustration at being the only one who cares enough to keep everything running. On October 5th, those born on the edge of the abyss are born. Their spiritual mission here on earth is to find the thread of light within the most absolute darkness. You are the Libra who gets involved with lost causes and impossible loves. The day of your birth brings a predisposition to save those who do not want to be saved. Your empathy is so overwhelming that you justify the worst attitudes of others, blaming yourself for not having been understanding enough. We've arrived at those born on October 6th. You are the mask detectors. Your spiritual mission is to teach society about true elegance, which lies not in clothing, but in the morality of actions. You hate injustice with a visceral passion, but your power mechanism operates through passive aggression. When you are hurt, you don't scream, you withdraw your presence. You punish with your cold and calculated absence, cutting off the emotional oxygen of those who betrayed you. And here we encounter a critical core, a point where the rope stretches to its limit. You feel your energies drained to the last drop from managing other people's emotions, from holding up the walls so they don't collapse on others. You can't spend the rest of your life believing that your usefulness lies solely in your ability to absorb the impact of others' falls. This tension, this feeling that you will break if you try to be agreeable for one more minute. This is your spirit demanding a new structure, and it is at this breaking point that the digital book, The Divine Wisdom that guides your zodiac sign to a purposeful life, comes in. More than just a simple read, it brings together teachings, interpretations, and exercises to help you understand patterns, develop a more conscious posture, and cultivate a stronger mindset in the face of difficulties, serving as a practical beacon to regain your balance and teach you the true limits of spiritual diplomacy. The link is in the first pinned comment. The last copies are running out. Click now and begin your journey towards the clarity and genius you deserve. Continuing this astrological journey, if your birth date is October 7th, your spiritual mission here on Earth is to be a rebel with a cause, but a rebel dressed in silk. You seek revolution, the change of unjust systems, but you do so behind the scenes, forging alliances. Your invisible pain is the profound frustration of living in a crude, primitive, violent world that offends your peaceful essence every day. For those born on October 8th, the day of their birth reveals a dense spiritual mission. You are the alchemists of heavy environments. You have the ability to enter places infested with envy and competition, and slowly, through your harmonizing presence, transmute that energy. But sometimes you forget to cleanse yourselves. You end up carrying the vibrational garbage from the office, family, or friends, resulting in unexplained psychosomatic illnesses. On October 9th, we have the relentless observers. Your spiritual mission here on Earth is to be the strategist of peace. You are the type of Libra who doesn't get emotionally involved in dramas. You analyze them like a game of chess. You know exactly what to say to manipulate the situation back into balance. Your great inner conflict is the feeling of emotional coldness. You think about feelings instead of feeling them. Those born on October 10th mark a vibrational turning point in Libra. The date of your birth indicates a spiritual mission of extreme mediating leadership. You are not the passive Libra. You are the Libra who commands, who demands, who creates rules of harmony that everyone around you must follow. However, your demand for aesthetic and relational perfection can transform you into a gentle dictator, someone who suffocates loved ones in an attempt to create a perfect, showy relationship. For those born on October 11th, the spiritual mission is the development of hidden intuition. You read between the lines. You know what people mean before they even open their mouths. The day of your birth made you a natural therapist, a walking confessional. But when you want to unload your own pain, when you need someone to listen to your irrational complaints, you look around and find a desert. You have spoiled people so much with being cared for by you that they don't know how to care for you in return. Those born on October 12th are catalysts for destinies. Your spiritual mission here on earth is to foster encounters. You are the connectors, uniting ideas, businesses, and people. But the day of your birth brings a burden. You often take a back seat. You push people towards success, applaud from the front row, but secretly cry backstage, wondering when your turn will come to be center stage and receive love in its most unconditional form. For October 13th, the energy shifts drastically. You are the deconstructors of egos. Your spiritual mission is to show people the flaws in their selfish logic, using diplomacy as a scalpel. You cut without causing bleeding. However, your challenge is to accept that not everyone wants to be improved. The day of your birth blinds you to the fact that sometimes your attempt to harmonize a situation is perceived as a controlling interference. Those born on October 14th are the insecure harbors. Their spiritual mission here on earth is to welcome, but they do so at the cost of their own emotional security. The day of their birth makes them feel guilty even for the world's misfortunes that are beyond their control. They apologize for things they didn't do, taking the blame to end the discussion quickly. Their avoidance of conflict has become their own prison. And on October 15th, we find the elegant martyr. Their spiritual mission is to absorb the world's grief, the collective sadness, and transform it into art, beauty, or solace. But what happens when the martyr crumbles? When the inner abyss opens and all the concessions you've made throughout your life, every yes you said wanting to scream no, accumulate into an overwhelming mountain of resentment. You face a terrifying void, feeling that you handed over the key to your sanity to people who didn't even know how to take care of their own lives. And that is the moment of maximum danger, where your balance breaks. To prevent you from disintegrating under the weight of your own generosity, there's the digital book, the divine wisdom that guides your zodiac sign to a purposeful life. More than just a simple read, it brings together teachings, interpretations, and exercises to help you understand patterns, develop a more conscious attitude, and cultivate a stronger mindset in the face of difficulties, giving you the exact antidote to the continuous self-evaluation that your sign has normalized. The link is in the first pinned comment. The last copies are running out. Click now and begin your journey towards the clarity and genius you deserve. Moving on, we come to those born on October 16th. You are warriors of peace. The day of your birth forged a Libra who is not afraid to fight, as long as the fight is for justice or the protection of the oppressed. Your spiritual mission here on earth is the fierce defense of others. Your problem is that you enter into wars that don't belong to you and spend your precious life fighting battles for people who, at the first sign of difficulty, flee and leave you alone on the battlefield. If you were born on October 17th, your spiritual mission is to be the weaver of unbreakable bonds. You weave relationships with an invisible thread of pure magic. You understand human psychology better than anyone. But the day of your birth brought a systemic flaw to your heart. You are terrified of abandonment. To avoid being left, you transform yourself into what your partner desires, pruning your rough edges, erasing your most peculiar traits, until one day, looking in the mirror, you no longer recognize yourself. For those born on October 18th, the day of their birth reveals the narrower face of the archetype. You are the guardians of profound secrets. Your spiritual mission here on earth is to listen to the unconfessable confessions of others without judgment. You are silent tombs. However, carrying these secrets pollutes your mental space. The overload of obscure information about humanity causes you deep down to lose some faith in love and goodness, becoming, against your own nature, a secret skeptic. Arriving on October 19th, we have the phoenix of the air. Your birth date both blessed and cursed you with the ability to rise from the ashes of devastating relationships. Your spiritual mission is to prove to yourself and the universe that love exists beyond human flaws. You are bitterly disappointed. You cry, you pick up the pieces, you polish your shining armor and return to the arena, romantically believing that this time it will be different. On October 20th, Libran energy begins to flirt dangerously with darkness, with the approaching shadows. You are the walkers on the threshold. Your spiritual mission here on earth is to accept that true harmony includes chaos, includes the dirty, includes the death of things. The day of your birth asks you to stop trying to paint the world only in pastel shades. Your conflict is the difficulty of accepting the ugly feelings within yourself. Envy, anger, selfishness. You spend so much energy trying to prove you are good that you forget to be real. There is no genuine balance in denying your own shadow, and it is precisely to deal with the hidden shadows beneath the relentless pursuit of beauty that the digital book, the divine wisdom that guides your zodiac sign to a purposeful life, is designed. More than just a simple read, it brings together teachings, interpretations, and exercises to help you understand patterns, develop a more conscious attitude, and cultivate a stronger mindset in the face of difficulties. It serves as a profound guide to confronting the truths you try to embellish, bringing ultimate healing. The link is in the first pinned comment. The last copies are running out. Click now and begin your journey towards the clarity and genius you deserve. For those born on October 21st, the aura is already charged with a magnetic and almost obsessive magnetism. You are the investigators of souls. The day of your birth left you just one step away from the intensity of Scorpio. Your spiritual mission here on Earth is to use Libra's charm to delve into the psychological swamps of others.